SISER Afternoon. What's going on, everybody? I love doing like funny little intros. I hope that's an attention grabber for you guys out there. But hey, everyone, welcome to another episode of SISER After. Whether it's after dark today, we're afternoon. But today I'm very excited about what I get to show you guys, not only in Leonardo Design Studio, but this will work in any software that you have, as long as you have some of these tools and these features inside of your own software. Now, if you don't, all the reason to get Leonardo, which again, I always like to make sure that we announce it up front when we do talk about Leonardo. For anybody that is new to these lives and these classes that we're doing, as well as anything in the SISER universe, know that you can always find Leonardo Design Studio over at www.siserna.com, SISERNA.com. It's on the bottom here. And you can always go there under the Leonardo tab and you can download Leonardo Design Studio for absolutely $0 and cents. We don't even ask you for a credit card when you register or when you set up your account, which is pretty nice, I would say, because I don't have to give anybody my crazy info. I'm just basically building my account so I can start playing around. And then go back to the SISER After Dark number 1. We had part 1 and part 2 learning Leonardo and learning the cutters, which was an awesome 2-part series. And then we just wrapped up a 3-part series where we go over HTV 101, part 1, part 2, and part 3, where I've taught you everything you need to know about SISER heat transfer materials. We've gone into the website. We're looking at what the applications are, what materials they apply to, and hopefully giving you guys a lot better opportunity when you are going out to create something brand new. Now, moving forward, it's time. You guys all said to me, you said, Patrick, listen, man, I love the After Dark Lives, and I love that you showed us about the Romeo and the Juliet, and I love that you showed us all the materials, but I want to learn how to make stuff, and that's what we're going to do today. So today is taking your creations from our brain, and we're going to actually make them inside Leonardo Design Studio. So make sure that while we're just getting the intro going here, getting software and all that stuff done, make sure that you let us know where you're chiming in from. Let us know, have you found these lives to be really beneficial to you? And I always need you guys to do me a favor. If you're not already subscribed over to SISER North America over on YouTube, make sure that you go subscribe to our YouTube channel, because all of the After Darks are in a playlist that's listed SISER After Dark. So really easy to go back, really easy to watch the replays. A lot of people have asked some awesome questions. So if you're not here live and you're watching the replay, look out for these SISER After Darks, because it's a great way that you can get me live and engage with me live so we can answer those questions and obviously, hopefully help a lot of other people. But before we get started, over on the 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, and 7s, and 8s, we got so many things running around in the studio, is Adam Zippel. Say hi, Adam.
Howdy.
All righty, and we have Anna's at home right now getting some R&R, because here in Michigan we had a little bit of a storm last night and her flight got delayed. So hopefully you're getting some rest, Anna. But sitting in her seat, I'm calling her the new maestro, by the way, is our very own Myrna. Say hi, Myrna.
Hi, everyone.
See, there we go. No hi Annas, it's hi everyone. We got a new catchphrase. And you guys know him, the salt in the syllables, grammatical great gatekeeper himself. It is our own Adam Sneath. Say hi, Adam.
Hey, everyone.
All righty, awesome. So we got Adam, we have Myrna. We also have Adam sitting over behind the production desk, looking at comments, making sure that if you guys have any questions that we're asking away. And then we have a ton of SISER folks over in the comments. I'm pretty sure, I didn't see the whole list, but I'm pretty sure Stephanie's in there. Pat Boyle's probably in there. I imagine Maya's probably in there. There's a ton of people to answer all of your questions, as well as some of those awesome brand partners that we have, like Ellie, that always are in here to help us help you which is a great thing. So today we are going to hop directly into Leonardo, and I actually want to show you exactly what we're going to create today. So this looks like a lot, okay? Now, one thing that my family and I love to do is we love to create, memories for the household. And one of these memories are creating a round wood sign. And I love these round wood signs. My wife and I started our business out by actually paint stenciling these. So we would use easy PSV, we would create our stencil, we'd be able to paint these out, and we had a really rich, cool design. Well, you can also use this with heat transfer materials and other things that we'll get into this week. But today, I'm going to teach you how to make your very own, and all of this is done inside Leonardo Design Studio, which is the couple little pro and basic tools. But you can always, on your own software as well, if you have those tools available to you, you can always try to create this or recreate this in your own software. So I don't want to alienate anybody, but this is about Leonardo, so we're going to dive right into it. So for anybody brand new to Leonardo Design Studio, typically when you go onto your artboard for the first time, this is what you're used to seeing. You're used to seeing an actual cutting mat on screen, but for this project, we're going to actually create a custom size artboard. So what we're going to do is over on the right-hand side panel, which is our artboard and cutting mats, we're going to transfer our cutting mat on over to a material roll. And what this is going to allow me to do is create a custom size that's going to fit this design best. So I'm going to go ahead and go 18 inches by 18 inches. Now for this design that we're going to do, we're actually going to do a 15 by 15 inch sign, which is a pretty standard wood glued edge round wood plate that you can get from any hardware store or big box store. So it makes it really easy. Or if you want something a little flatter, go to your local retail store like a Michael's, Joann, while they're around still. Go to Michael's, Joann, or anything like that, and you can get these wood plaques or wood signs made. So simply enough, the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to come down to my shape tools, okay? I'm going to find a circle, and I'm just going to do a quick blop of a circle, change that color, so obviously I can see what I'm working with. And then down underneath the properties menu where the color wheel is, there's your width and your height to be able to actually change the physical size of that circle. Well, for me, as you guys can see, this is pretty even, so I'm able to select 15 inch, and because it will scale proportionately, it will actually create a 15 by 15 inch circle. Now, if you do have any situation where your width and your height are two separate numbers and you want them to be even, you just deselect and unlock that layer, or I'm sorry, unlock that shape, and you'll be able to manipulate either width or height separately, okay? But for this, we don't want to do anything other than grab our wood sign, or what our wood sign will be. We're going to hit the hotkeys C and V on our keyboard, whether you're Mac or Windows users. This will center your design perfectly, horizontally and vertically to your artboard, okay? So what I'm going to do really quickly, I'm just going to shimmy this on off, and I want to show you a quick little pro tip before we get started. So there's an awesome tool inside Leonardo. I found a wood grain finish image inside, just from the Googs. I was just doing a quick little search ski, found it here. I'm going to actually bring this JPEG in or PNG in. I'm going to bring this in not as a print and cut, but as a background image only, and here's why. When I hit next, it will automatically try to make a print and cut sheet. So what I'm going to do is just deselect print and cut. So now I have that wood grain image on screen, okay? So now what I'm able to do is I'm going to actually take this wood grain image and I'm going to rotate this about 90 degrees, because for me, anytime, it's an OCD thing for me when I'm making wood signs, I really like all the grain to go north and south as opposed to east and west. It's just a personal preference. So you guys do with that information whatever you want. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is just expand this image on out a little bit so that I can fit in my 15 by 15 inch circle. Yeah, what's up, Adam?
What is the center hotkey?
For centering, it is a C and V. So C will center horizontally and V will center vertically. Or sorry, opposite, sorry. V will center horizontally, sorry, and then C will center vertically. Yep. Alrighty. So with that, now I have, you can see my circle, which let me just change the color to purple so you can really see it. My circle that I created before, and now we have this wood grain. So what I can do inside Leonardo is select both images, go down to all of my weld tools and find that Intersect tool, and now I've just created a living wood round sign in software. So what this is going to allow me to do now is really get a great visual representation of what that sign or that design is going to look like. And so what I'm going to do for this layer now is I'm going to go ahead and select my image, or I can go to my layers panel, find my wood grain finish, which is in this case, this is just my wood sign. I like to double click and change the names of these just because it's easier for me when I'm looking at my layers to differentiate what layer goes to what. So this layer I'm renaming as wood sign, and you can do that simply by double clicking the name and changing it. Secondly to that, if you have a color layer on screen, you can also change the name of that. Instead of layer 1, 2, 3, you can just change it to red, blue, green, so you always remember. Now, the second thing I'm gonna do to this is I'm also gonna lock this into place because I don't want this wood sign to move. We're gonna base everything for this design based on this template that we're making, okay? So now I'm gonna go ahead and just zoom in a little bit so we can start to see our sign. Maybe a little too much, there we go. And now the first step we got to do, as you can see in the round sign that I made, is we got to decide kind of what the placement is and what elements we want to use. And I'm going to recreate this one because it's already here, so it'll be really easy to see what I'm doing, what that final result looks like. But I'm going to start gathering up some of my elements. So in here, we're in Michigan. That's where I'm based out of, and our team here at SISER North America is based out of, well, most of our team. But for this, I just kind of want to make a fun family name sign with our state in the background. I think it's fun. So inside Leonardo, we obviously have a lot of commercial-free elements. I'm going to go in and I'm just going to type in Michigan, see what comes up, and there's obviously a ton of different options that I have. Now, we have more of like a wireframe version. I don't necessarily want this because I don't want the word Michigan in there, and this is part of this design. For me, I can do like this guy here, but this also to me is a little too clip arty, if that makes sense. I know that when you guys see this versus a normal state sign, that's where I'm translating. It's a little clip arty for me, but I did find this one, which I really like the way that this looks. Now, the only exception has the word Michigan in it. So I'm going to show you something. I'm going to open this design up and bring it onto my design board really quickly. And this doesn't matter how much I manipulate this top layer because remember, this is locked into place. And then what I'm going to do to this image, I'm just going to go ahead and go down and ungroup and see how many groupings there are for this image. So I got the blue separated from the letters now. So what I can do is I can grab the mitten and the upper peninsula, pull those on off to the side, and now I can simply just erase that Michigan, highlight these two again, and weld them together. And then now I've just basically taken a piece from another design so that I can add it into that design itself. All right, what do we got over there? Mike. The people want to hear you now, Adam.
Sorry about that. Jean Marie is asking, where did you get the wood sign design from? They missed that part.
Ooh, okay, perfect. So I just mentioned it because some of that stuff, it's more of a you guys kind of know how to get these things. But that, I just grabbed an image from Google. I literally just went on Google, found wood grain sign or wood grain look, and then I just found the actual hue of wood grain that I like. This is more of a espresso, I think, but there's a ton of different, you can basically grab any color or any shade of that wood grain. So when I brought that in though, I just bring that image in as only a background image, okay? So we're not gonna treat it like a normal print and cut where we go through all the steps. We just bring it in as a background image, and then what we'll do is we'll deselect print and cut, and now that's just a living picture inside Leonardo. So then I can align that layer, that circle layer, and my wood grain, hit that intersect tool, and then automatically it will inherit basically that shape of the circle, but have the wood grain image inside of it, okay? Any other questions? Well, that was a good question. Okay, cool. So now I have my state here. I got that element. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of pull this on off to the side. And the next thing that we're going to actually accomplish in this is we're going to add all of the name. Okay. So for anybody that's been with Leonardo from the start, you guys know that we've recently added a really fun feature inside Leonardo, which is our text on an arc. And when you actually go down, and let me show you really quick where you go. Under the text panel, there's your regular text tool in Leonardo Pro. There's a text on an arc and then the text on a path. We're going to select text on an arc. It's going to bring up an image, or obviously our image on screen, and sometimes you'll have to just minimize a little bit. So now what I can do is I have, oh actually, you know what, let me do this really quick first, because this is going to be way easier for you guys to see. Let me change the color to white so that when I go to text on an arc, oop, not that one, you guys will actually see, there we go. So now we got the white words, which will be way easier to see. So inside Leonardo, there's this module that will pop up when you hit text on an arc. Now, what's really cool about this is I can center this to my design or center this to my board or whatever it may be. And if it's not perfectly centered, it's okay. We can do some manipulation things afterwards. So there is a main dashed line, and I know they're kind of tough to see here, but the main dashed line that runs around, and then there's also a little green dot. That green dot will move the text around your design itself, and this actual white dash line is how we grow our text. So for this particular sign, I'm going to go ahead and start putting in some names. We're going to go, Myrna, congratulations, you're part of the family now. Adam, and then Adam. There we go. We got everybody in the room right now is on our family name sign. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is I want to change the font style, and we're going to find, I love this Algerian. I don't know why, but I really like it. So I changed my font after I've selected the first parts of my name, okay? I'm selecting my font, and now I'm just going to grow and expand this font a little bit around that arc. So you can see that this little white dash line, and I know that sometimes it's a little harder to see on screen, my names are actually arcing around that. So when I grab this little red dot, you can see that it will actually spread them out and fit the shape of the sign itself. Now, for these, I think I like the placement of these, but I also kind of want some separation between these names a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the text field on this screen, and I'm going to actually delete all the space from each of these names, and I'm going to try to make it even all the way across. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces between Myrna and Adam. So between the two Adams, we're going to do the same. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I have better spacing between them. And sometimes you may have to do a little manipulation just to make the design seem like it's a little bit more, what am I trying to say, aligned with the sign itself. Because Myrna has a little bit longer name. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's just change it. We're going to go Adam, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then Myrna. That'll be more even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then Adam again. There. Coolio. There we go. So now that looks a little bit cleaner. So I have my names. Now, as you saw in the other previous sign that I showed you, there's also text running along the bottom of the sign itself. Well, inside Leonardo, in this text panel, if I want to create a line that's going to arc on top and then create a line that'll arc on the bottom, all I have to simply do to this portion of my file is hit enter. And this will create a new line of text. Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, can you give the definition of SVG?
Yes, SVG, that's actually a really good question. SVGs and PNGs, okay, there's a difference between the two. SVG is a scalable vector graphic. That means that that image or that design is created in a way that no matter how big you make it or how small you make it, you're going to have roughly this. You're going to have the same identical resolution. Whereas in a PNG or is it portable network graphic or portal network graphic? One of the two, portable or portal. Maybe we Google that really quick. But with a PNG, that's more commonly going to be like more of your print and cut. And if you scale that, so if a normal PNG is made at, let's say, 2 inches by 2 inches, and it's at 300 DPI, which is dots per inch, then you scale that up to, say, 15 inches wide. Well, what that's going to do is that's going to affect the resolution because it's stretching a flattened image, whereas an SVG, each element is living. What is it? Portable. Portable network graph. See, I was right. I shouldn't have questioned myself. Yeah, is that a good explanation of it? Okay, cool. Any other questions that we have?
Looks good.
Cool, awesome. All right, so now that we've created a new line, what we're going to do is we're going to do established for our established date, and we're going to do 2024. We'll make it like that. And so now, as you can see, I have a little bit more space up top than I do on the bottom. So what I need to do is grab my center line and just try to even that up a little bit more. Now, I do want to make this as big as I can to the edge of this little sign. And then I'm just going to even that up a tad bit, which we can always do again on the next step. So if we don't get it perfect to what we want, it's okay. So now I have all of the names and I have the established 2024. And to that, I will hit apply. And as you can see, it goes directly onto my board. And again, I can still move these names around and make them fit as best as possible, which I can already see here. We're going to want to move that over just slightly. There we go. So now I have this element of my design made, which in this case were our family names, okay, and then our established. So before we hop into the next one, Adam's got something over here.
question from Kristen.
Okay.
So you just hit enter to put a line of text on the bottom.
Correct. Yep. So when you're in the text on an arc, and I'll just run into the module again. So I'm just using a basic arc here and a tiny one. So if I have my words here, hello, on top, all I have to do is hit enter like I would in like Microsoft Word or any type of just normal typing software to add a new line. And then I would just put my text on the bottom. Now, one of the cool things are, too, with this that I want to point out, as we're on this module, a recent update is actually the character spacing. So we have a little bit of character spacing now, so I can change the percentage of where these letters lie or the percentage in between, because as you can see, if I go back to 0, some of my letters may overlap. So if I want to obviously separate the letters a little bit more, I can just hit that character spacing and then increase that, that percentage inside the software. And then after that, all you have to do is hit apply, and then it transfers on over to your main artboard, okay? So now what we're able to do from here is I'm gonna actually take these names in the establish, and for me, I try to make everything super easy for myself. So I'm gonna type in names here, and then what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna actually, right here, and then I'm gonna lock that layer into place. So now I can't move the brown part of the sign, and I can't move the words or the names, okay? With that, now we're gonna get into the next part of this process. And as all of you guys know, we recently, let me actually unlock my wood sign because I'll need that for this layer. We recently launched our Rhinestone module, and I found a really fun use case outside of just doing Rhinestone templates. So another use case for this is I'm gonna actually select my Rhinestones. I'm going to pick probably a medium size. It'll be a larger size rhinestone, but for the sake of this design, it'll be a smaller fit. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to like SS50. I'll go to SS50 on this one, which is a little bit larger rhinestone. And for the fit and fill options, I'm doing a border only fill. Okay, I just wanna make sure that I make that distinction. We're doing a border only. And also too, for this one, what I wanna be able to do is, let me see, really quick, if we change the offset down a little bit, as you can see, when I change my offset, it gives me more or less rhinestones to work with, because obviously as that space or those gaps in between each rhinestone are going away, it's got to fill it in and make up for it. So we're just going to keep it like this. We're going to keep it in black for now, and I'm just going to hit accept. Now, as all of you guys know, inside our software, that our Rhinestone tool, oops, let me not move that. Let's go ahead and move this. As you guys know, in our Rhinestone tool, when you actually create the rhinestones inside the module, we give you kind of that rhinestone look. We give you an actual rhinestone to work from. But when you go onto your main page, it's just creating a circle because it wants a contour cut to be able to cut that template. So I'm simply just using the Rhinestone module to create these dots around my sign. So a really, really great secondary use case for that Rhinestone module. But nevertheless, what we're gonna do now is we'll go ahead and lock in our wood layer again. So we know that's not gonna move. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna center, again, using C and V. We're gonna center our rhinestones. And then what I wanna do is, let me actually zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing here. All right, so I'm gonna select that, and I'm gonna bring this down into my design. So as you can see with Leonardo, if I scale, and this is the reason why I wanted to show you this, if I scale from just a corner, as you guys all know that in the bottom corner of the actual software itself, we always give you mouse hints. If I scale from one corner, it's obviously not going to scale proportionately to the circle. So what I'm gonna do is go back, I'm gonna select that design, and I'm gonna hold the hotkey Shift, okay? Hotkey Shift, or if you're a Mac user, I wanna say it's gonna be Command is for that one, or maybe Shift as well, we'll double check that. But if I hit the hotkey Shift, and I go ahead and I scale down the rhinestones itself, as you can see, it scales everything proportionate to itself. So now what I'm gonna do is bring those rhinestones about halfway through all of my text, and then I'm gonna deselect, and now you can see that I'm already starting to create that path of those circles, okay? So I wanna just stop here really quick at this point, because we're at about the halfway point of creating this design. I wanna ask or answer any questions that you guys see coming up. Is there any ones that are really pertinent about this? Is anybody lost or need me to go back in a couple steps or anything like that?
What if you wanted the rhinestones just on the bottom of of the circle and not the entire circle?
Ooh, that's a great question, and that's actually exactly what I'm going to show you next of how to eliminate some of these, and we'll cover that one too. Yeah, that's actually a really, really good question, and you guys are already ahead of me. You guys should be teaching these classes. I love it. Any other ones that are coming through before we get to that? Cool, cool.
There was one question.
Yeah.
Are these tools you're showing part of the Pro or the free version of Leonardo?
Very good question. So the Intersect tool is in basic. The text on an arc is a Pro feature. Let's see, the Rhinestone tool is a Pro feature as well. But again, there's also ways to simplify it to where you don't necessarily have to use a Pro feature. But remember, a lot of times when we talk about whether you have a basic software or Pro software, a lot of that is building tools and things like that or features in software that help to automate and simplify the process. So for a basic user, I could just create one circle and then place all those circles around that dot. All those circles around my wood sign. But again, you guys know some of those may be off center, they might all not be registered properly, the same distance. So by me being a Pro subscriber and utilizing the Rhinestone tool, I can make this really, really fast. I know they're already all perfectly centered, aligned, proportionate to each other, and I don't have to take a bunch of extra steps. So you can do most everything that I'm doing here, as I haven't done anything crazy that's in Pro other than the Rhinestone feature right now and the text on an arc are the only two things that we've really used for the Pro. Any other ones? Cool, cool. All right, let's show to Adam's question that he brought up, Adam Zippel's question that he brought up from the audience. Let's start with that one, because that's actually going to tie in really nicely with what I'm about to show you guys. So to eliminate these dots, right, as we say, we really only want these dots in all of the dead space. We obviously don't want them floating around our words. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in to the top of this design, and I'm just going to start right about here, which is going to make my life a lot easier. Now, I'm going to select my rhinestone, so my purple layer here, and I'm going to right-click, go down to Paths, and I'm going to ungroup paths. Now, what you're going to see on your layers panel, and the reason why I do a lot of offset colors from my actual design is now I can see every single one of those dots in purple, and there's no other color that's purple. So I know if I click on one, that I'm going to select one of those dots. So for example, I just clicked on one, and there it is there. Okay, so now what I'm able to do is I'm able to go through, and because I have this layer and both of these layers locked, I can just basically scan right through the M of Adam's name and the A of Adam's name, go up to the top of their names, and highlight basically all of these rhinestones, hit delete just like that. And then now I can do the same where I'm just cleaning up around all of the names. And then I can do the same for Myrna's name where I can just highlight the specific rhinestones I want to knock out and get out of there. And then we're going to eliminate all of these because I have a bigger circle we're going to use for those. So we'll add one here and one here just to kind of tie that in. But I also see that we do need to remove that. And then the same thing applies. We're going to go down to the established, and we're just going to eliminate all of the rhinestones, quote unquote, but our dots from around our established sign. So now we're starting to get more of this type of look. Now for me, I am the kind of person, I like the smaller dots around the edges, but then to separate the name, I like to make these ones just a little bit bigger, just for funsies. And then because I'm just want those to be even, I'm just going to copy and paste this either manually or using the hotkeys Control-C and Control-V. So the nice thing is with Leonardo, a lot of those hotkeys are pretty similar to what you guys are used to using in like Microsoft and PowerPoint and stuff like that. So those hotkeys really, really work well. Okay, so there's that one there. Cool. So now as you can see, I have the base of my design all done. Maybe I did separate your guys' names by a couple too many clicks, but that's okay. This still looks really good. So we've now created our names. We've now created our rhinestone or our dots around our sign. We've created our establish, and then we've added our little accents. So now what we want to do from here is I want all of the letters and the dots to be the same color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deselect or unlock the actual white names and establish. I'm just going to highlight the entire image and then simply hit weld. Now, as you can see, if there is the majority of the image is one color, it will always take on that color. So one thing that we're able to do is now that it's purple, we just go right back to our color panel and we can change that to white just with a click of a button, and now we've established the foundation of this, this sign. So we're already starting to build this design kind of step by step in a really fun, creative way. So now what I can do is I can lock the white layer again. So that's done. And I can now bring in my state symbol, or the state, and I can kind of fit that in where I think it's going to work best on this sign. So there we go. So I want it kind of right about there, because if I center it, it'll be a little off center. There we go. So now I have my state. Somebody throw out a color. What color do we want the state to be?
Pink.
Pink? Okay. Sweet. I thought you were going to say purple because it was Yolan's favorite, but it's fine. Let me start here, and then I'll just lighten it up.
Close enough.
There we go. Close enough. Cool. So there we go. It's a little pink. We gotta. This is like a. I can't say purple. I can't add purple and pink together because it's either pink or it's purple because of the P with the P. There we go. Fuchsia. We're in between. All right. Anyways, so we have our state sign. So now that we have this element brought into our design, again, I like locking all of my layers so that I know nothing is going to move for me. Another thing that you can always do too, as you build the design out more and more, you can keep all of these layers unlocked. You can highlight everything, group them together by right-clicking, and then selecting group, which just keeps your whole image together, and then you can lock that layer. So either way, if you want to lock each individual layer, or you want to just group the whole design as you're building it, but just make sure that you ungroup as you're adding elements or as you're changing colors and whatnot. So, all right, now we are good to go here. In the next step, we are going to add the actual family name itself. So I'm going to go down to my normal text tools, and I'm going to type in a the, and then a family, because I want both of these texts on screen to be the same as my name. So we're going to find that Algerian again. Actually, you know, let's go like a Times New Roman. I know it's really basic, but I kind of like the way it looks on this type of sign. So let's go Times New Roman, and let's go bold, and then we're going to hit apply, okay? And what I'm going to do for these, I'm going to change both of these to white. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ungroup the and the family from each other. Okay, so I'm going to right click as I selected the piece that I want to separate. I'm going to right click and go down to paths and then ungroup paths. And again, this is going to separate each individual element, or each individual letter in this case. So I'm going to select my the, weld that together. So now that is one piece. And then I'm going to do the same for family, weld that together. So that's now a one piece. I'm going to throw the up at the top. Let's throw the family down here for funsy balunsies. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's drop the family down a little bit more, because I got a little fun idea for the end of this one. So we'll do that, kind of fit that in. And this is all preference-based for this part, guys. Everything that I'm showing you right now, for anybody out there watching, what locations, what words, how many dots and all that stuff, this is all preference-based for you, but we hope that when you watch this back, this gives you all the necessary tools to make something really, really great. So now I've created the and the family. The last thing we got to do is we just got to tie it in. We're going to go SISER. Actually, let me not do it that way because it would look weird. There we go. We got SISER. That looks good. I like that wispy font. And now I'm just going to expand this and make this the biggest piece of my design. I want that to be front and center. And actually what I'm going to do too is, I think, instead of rotating that, oops, let's go ahead and give that a little bit of a italicized look. So if you guys ever want to know how to shift your shapes, or should I say, or shift any of your text to be more from like a standard to more italicized, you just hold down the control option and then grab the green circle that you would normally use for rotate, and you can simply italicize your words, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and rotate this up a little bit, make this a little bit bigger, because we really want to show that off. There we go. And then there we have it. Just like that, we've added the SISER family. We've showed you not only how to grab elements from other designs, we also showed you how to grab things just from the web and be able to use those as elements inside your design as well. But overall, a lot of really fun stuff. What's up, Myrna? What questions we got?
Someone is asking about the font that was used for the SISER word.
Ooh, yeah. That's a downloaded font. I know it's a font I have. That is Thinking of Betty. So if you're ever thinking of Betty, that's Thinking of Betty. As you guys know too, inside Leonardo, we've talked about this many times, but all of the fonts inside Leonardo are all locally downloaded fonts. We don't do the whole, hey, you pay us money and we pretend that you get a bunch of free fonts and other stuff like companies do. We like to keep it tried, true, and honest. You have DaFont, Creative Fabrica, all of those different websites. You guys are downloading your fonts for free or with subscriptions already. You have those inside Leonardo. So as soon as you download it to your computer, like any other font, it will live in this library. And a really quick way to search too, if you didn't know that, on this actual module itself, if you simply select one of the text, so like on the text panel right now, let me go ahead and just select this font. And let's say I want to find that Times New Roman again. All I have to do is hit T on my keyboard, and now I'm in all of the T named fonts inside the module itself. So a really fast way. I know there's not a physical search for at full font name, but this is a really quick, easy way that you can kind of skim through, especially if you have those fonts, Ananda, Bold, and the Christmas Wish, and all the ones that we all know and love. My favorite font for any of my designers out there is those Courier New or Comic Sans. I'm just throwing it out there. I know that makes everybody mad that are designers. Comic Sans. All right, what's up, Adam?
Another question, could you bring in a PDF file?
For like to do what?
I'm guessing like importing into Leonardo.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So right now in Leonardo, you can import JPEGs, PDF, or no, I'm sorry, JPEG, PNG, TIFF files. PDF is the one I'm not sure about. Tony, if you're in the live right now, if you're watching right now, can you comment in if anybody sees them in there? I'm not 1,000%. Actually, let's just try it. Just do it really quick. Let me see if I have a PDF to even bring in. I don't even think I have a PDF. Oh, this is a PDF. There we go. This one is. So as a background image, there we go. So this is a PDF that I had saved, and it worked. Yeah.
Can you also repeat how to find the font?
Oh yeah, like the quick way to search for them? Yeah, so on the text module, when you're inside Leonardo and you hit text mode, when you are on just your normal fonts on the side, you just have to make sure you select one. Don't double click it, just make sure it's highlighted. And then from there, if I want to find a font in the F section, I can just hit F on the keyboard and it will bring me right to the start of all of the F name, the fonts that start with an F. So it's a really quick, fast, easy way to search inside Leonardo. Cool? Awesome. All right, let's change the, we got to do SISER Red, even though I was hoping Myrna would pick red for the state, but she didn't because she's not a SISER. Never mind, it's fine. Just kidding. Anyway, all right. With that, I'm going to also grab a quick heart too, because, you know, us being here close to Detroit, I obviously want to identify that in my design too. So we're going to throw really, really small in there. We're going to kind of get right about where Detroit is-ish. This is kind of actually closer to where I'm at, but there we go. Right about there. There we go. So now I've been able to add this in, and actually what I'm going to do to this really quickly, just before we get done, so I'm going to ungroup all of these elements. I want to find that purple, which is my state, and I'm going to hold down Shift and then select also my heart, and I'm going to show this to you one more time again in real time. Pay attention to the layers panel as you see this happen. So I'm going to click on my shape, which is the Michigan sign or the Michigan element. I'm going to hold down Shift, and what you're going to see when I select this heart, you'll see this get highlighted in the layers panel, indicating that both the heart and the shape are both selected at the same time, okay? So now what I'm able to do from there is I can actually run down, let's hit that remove front, and we just knocked that little heart out of the state of Michigan just to make it easier. But all in all, this is my entire design. So we've just created, from start to finish, we've created not only an SVG, meaning that no matter how big I scale this to, it will all scale proportionate, it won't lose any type of resolution, any type of quality, or anything like that. Just adds a lot more nodes to the path, which can increase the amount of time that it takes to process information from your computer over to a cutter, but that's here nor there, doesn't matter. So we're able to make something really fast and efficient. And one of the other cool parts about this is really the world of like the application or the creation process open up to you, you know, pretty greatly. So I want to show you a couple of examples from really simplistic things that were made here. And it's funny that I do the SISER family. Is it if I'm facing my way, Adam? Okay, cool. Funny that we did SISER family because I didn't even think about this, not only with Times New Roman font, but this is just, I don't remember when I made, this was like something I made really, really quickly to show a process, but this is the most simplistic way that you could create a quick family name sign. And this is actually the wood that I was telling you about. These things, you can kind of buy them standard, pre-cut. from, you know, like a Home Depot, a Lowe's, or a big hardware box store. Usually has these all kind of pre-cut for you. But this is a really quick, easy way to show it with adhesive. Here is a really fun way to show it using some of our fluorescent colors, which I absolutely think is awesome. Oh, there we go. But this is all heat transfer material. So this is all fluorescent heat transfer vinyl, which I thought was a really, really fun use case for creating this round sign and also being able to basically create all of these elements in real time. So this is an awesome one that was done. But this is more traditional of what a lot of you guys probably are used to seeing out there in the world of front door signs, where you have, you know, the Murphy family with the monogram, and then you have some nice accent. Actually, bonus, what are these little accents called? Can anybody in the comments tell me what they're called? Do you guys know what these are actually called? These little accents, the little wings? Okay. We'll see what the comments say. Yeah, it's an actual design term that I know for sure is there, but I'm curious to know if anybody in there gets them correctly. Huh? I'm curious to see if the people in the comments know first, all right? No, I have no clue. That's why I'm asking. I don't know. I know that there's something, they're a type of accent thing. What are they?
Laurels.
Maybe that's it. Did somebody just put that in the comments? I think that's right, yes. Maybe that's what I was thinking of.
Multiple people said laurels.
Yeah, that's what they
Glyphs.
Oh yeah, glyphs. I mean, glyphs work too. That actually is a good one. And as you guys, embellishment. See, that's what I call it. I just call them embellishment. But I think you're right. I think it's laurels is the proper term for like those wispy. And then this was really, really fun. I can't remember who made this. I know somebody on the graphics team probably knocked this one out. But this is actually done all with the same type of design of using that round sign, using the arc text, using some additional elements. But all of this was actually done on paper. And I don't know if you can see kind of the thickness of that. But it's really cool to see this same design also layered to make something, you know, just kind of tying it in. And I think Earth Day is coming up pretty soon here. So Earth Day every day around here at SISER, especially with Pure HT around now. So yeah, a couple of really, really fun use cases, really easy ways that you guys can create using the same method. But let's go over really quickly, see if we have any last minute questions or anything like that before we wrap up today. Anything that's out there that we need to answer?
So there is a question about taking a file type and basically converting it into an SVG within Leonardo.
Okay, so taking more of like a PNG type image and then converting it into an SVG, is that what we're thinking?
Right.
Okay, so actually, you know, here's what we're gonna do for that one. Next week, we're gonna be back at the 7 p.m. hour on next Thursday, and we're actually gonna be creating your first PNG from scratch. So what I want you to do is you guys get into that live, and I'm going to actually open up that live with showing you how to break down, or no, we'll do the design, or we'll do the class, and then at the end of that, I'll make sure to put a note. Will you send me a Teams just so I remember to write it in, Adam? But I'll make a note that will actually show you how to break down that PNG as well, back down into individual elements, because there is a way to do it, but it is a couple of steps to make that happen. So tune in to the PNG, how to create your first print and cut design. I'll make sure to go over that one in that class, just because I don't want to confuse anybody in the SVG to the PNG. So, yes?
Do you use a regular heat press to apply onto the wood?
Great question. Do we use a regular heat press to apply on the wood? In some cases, yes. For a design like this one here that you guys saw, this one is easy to press over onto a heat press because it's a pretty flat piece of wood. So you're really not working against anything. It's kind of the same as if you were to press on like a t-shirt. It's pretty flat.
That's HTV on that one.
This one's HTV, yes, yeah, yep, this one's HTV. But for a sign like this one here, number one, you may need a little bit bigger press. So if you have a 16 by 20, you know, a little bit larger press, yes, it's possible. But one of the best ways to do this, as you guys know with all SISER heat transfer materials, they're all iron-on. So what you could actually do is grab a home iron, cover up, oh, sorry, this way. Grab a home iron, cover up your design, and you can actually heat apply this in sections if you don't have access. So to the question, yes, you can use a heat press on this, but there also are other little things that you need to look out for. Again, with the couple being flat, it's a little easier, but with this sign that had the PSV on it, you can see that's much thicker than even like this sign. So for this, you would really have to make adjustments to your heat press platen and really raise that up, or simply just use a home iron and you'll be able to apply to the top of it. Cool? All righty. Any other big questions? Anything coming in? Good, good? Cool. Oh, Adams, he's going to the mic. Uh-oh.
There is one more question asking, can you show us how to change an image into rhinestones?
Oh, change an image. Okay, since that's part of an SVG thing, I'll show you that really, really quickly. So let's go ahead and grab a new page here, and we're just going to use this. So let's see. This is Adam. This is where I need that love design because it's perfect to break it up. Oh, here it is. Actually, never mind. We got it.
Oh, we got it.
We've got it. We've got it. Tangled in love. All right. So for something like this, there's obviously a lot of different elements that make up this overall design, which actually, Adam, can you do me a favor really quick, or Myrna? If you know where it's at right away? Okay, cool. Yeah. We'll show you the final result of this too. But for a element like this, where we have multiple things, the first thing we really need to do is just ungroup our design so that all of the pieces are separated, okay? And then what we're able to do, now that we have our SVG separated, I can go ahead and select one of the elements, go down to that Rhinestone tool, and simply hit select, fit and fill, and we're going to fill this one in. And we're going to actually change, thank you. We're going to actually change the physical rhinestone size to more of a traditional size. So we'll go like SS9 or even SS10, which will show. So here's one element that we've just created. I'm going to hit accept. And then I can move this off to the side and get rid of that one. And now what I'm going to do is I can use this little eyedropper, and I can just select whatever color so I can match the two colors. So we have our L now. Take away that. And then now I'm just going to continue the process with the O. I think the O falls right about there. Cool. So now I can take the O, do the same exact thing, and all of this can be done super, super quick. Let me move that out of the way, bring this over. Bring that on back up. And again, I'm not doing any cleanup. There's some cleanup in here. I just want to show you guys quickly how to make these. And then I can simply select my image color. So just like that, I can convert each element of my design into a rhinestone template. And then Adam and I just shot a video. What was that? We just listed it. But we shot a video, the 2 ways to use rhinestones. So thank you. Big shout out to Cindy over in our A&D department, who showed us the basics and how to actually use them. But this was what our final result was for this design. Now, as you can see, the one on screen is all filled in. This one I decided to just do an outline or a border of rhinestones. But this shows you how you can take it from in software to then either using holographic as we have here, or being able to cut this into a rhinestone template, brush in all your rhinestones, and then transfer and apply that onto your garment. Cool? All right. Well, with that, guys, I will tell you that it is time to wrap up this how to create an SVG. What did we list this one as? What was the title of it?
This one was called Turning Ideas into Designs.
Turning Ideas into Designs. I like that. I really like
Leonardo.
that too. Yeah. I always get the easy part of the job where I go, I just want to make an SVG, and then the grammatical gatekeeper, he's like, well, we're going to make it this whole long thing. So anyway, I like it. So this is your learning how to create SVGs really quickly inside Leonardo, taking that inspiration that just starts with an idea and building element by element by element to make something really rich and fun at the end of the day. Next week, like I said, at the 7 p.m. hour, so look out at our social media on all SISER North America platforms. That's on Facebook. That's on YouTube. Make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can always get a replay after, and you can also see the playlist and share out that playlist to all your friends and fam that want to get involved with SISER stuff. But as the air is blasting right now and is going to start affecting the audio, we're going to wrap this up, and we'll see you guys next week on how to create a PNG or a print and cut image right inside of Leonardo. Until next time, guys.